in and looking personally for me. Well, I thought they would have filed the divorce, but nothing yet.
Uh,
Of course, it may never have been an official divorce. They may have just split.
I actually have found some of those in my family history as well. I cannot find divorce, but they were divorced because they remarried.
Yep. Yeah, my grandmother remarried.
And have you checked the information in FamilySearch? So nothing
It's
there.
one of the ones I go back to about every 3 months.
Do you have, some of the counties, of course, have digitized their records, and some of them have better search engines than others. And if they've digitized all their civil court records, then you might have a chance there for stuff that FamilySearch might not have yet.
Yeah, I think I've hit most of them that have digitized access online, plus people that I've either called or visited personally. But I've still got plenty more to go. I'm
Yeah, all 254 of them.
in Texas.
Good luck with that. Amanda, thank you for joining our room.
You're welcome.
Is there anything in particular we can do for you?
No, I'm just kind of listening in. I am a retired librarian. I retired about 1.5 years ago from Tarleton State University, and I managed our archives there, which that included one of the regional historic resource depositories for the Texas State Library. So I've been kind of following some of the chatter out there about FamilySearch trying to get out and digitize a lot of those records. And at the point that I left the library, doing anything with stuff in RHRD was kind of questionable because all those records are actually owned by the state. They're county level and sometimes city level records, and various primarily universities in the state serve as RHRDs, and we're basically just a storage facility. And yet we didn't have any capability to apply for grants to try to digitize anything or whatever. And I'm actually not sure what the state library's status is as far as that is concerned nowadays. But
are these the depositories that are, there's one in Liberty and there's one in Austin, and
yeah, they're all over. There's about 20 something throughout the
right.
state, and various counties have been assigned to various repositories, so that and this all started, I think, back in the 70s or something, because we got a lot of records way back then, and really nothing's been added since then.
Yeah, if I understand our FamilySearch's status right now with them is we have an agreement with them to start digitizing those records, and our efforts were just starting to be put in place, and then COVID shut down all the depositories.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we've been waiting, and I'd have to go back to Steve Waters, who we interact with in Salt Lake, because he's the one who's kind of implementing that project. But his arrangement is to start in Austin and then go from there. And so we're just waiting to have things open back up so we can get in and start that massive project.
But it is coming.
Yeah. As soon as they open, we'll get camera crews in there. And I think that it was start in Austin, see how it runs, get everyone comfortable. And then I think they were going to try to go to Liberty. I thought they were trying to get into Liberty, and they had a big problem with their HVAC system. And that kept us out of Liberty. And then COVID stopped it all.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to have you on here, Amanda.
Well, mostly just here to listen.
Well, if there's anything you can do to help us out in our efforts, that'd be fabulous.
I'm not sure that there's a whole lot I can do now that I'm retired, but
you've got good contacts back into places that we might not have contacts with.
Yeah.
So where are you located, Amanda?
Me, I'm in Granbury.
And forgive my ignorance, where is Granbury?
Oh, that's all right. Granbury is about 30 miles southwest of Fort Worth.
Okay.
And then Stephenville, where Tarleton's headquarters is about 30 miles further southwest.
So you had a nice commute then every day.
Yeah, it was actually a very pleasant commute. No traffic, listen to audiobooks. It was wonderful. But it's also wonderful to be retired.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to experience that myself. I just retired a month ago, so it is an interesting process.
Okay, so I kind of missed a lot of the introductory stuff for this, the breakout rooms and all. What are y'all's roles in this?
Go ahead, Stephanie.
We kind of coordinate the record scouts for volunteers for FamilySearch. They're the ones who go out and get information from counties. Tarleton State would be a great place, except we're already working with the state on that. So anything we can do, we talk to county clerks, we talk to district clerks. The information that you find on FamilySearch, a record scout found that and put it through the process to get it online.
Okay.
So so we're going out to, get ourselves introduced to anyone, it could be historical societies, it could be churches, anyone who has records. We're trying to get into some of these, when Rachel from Carnegie Library, that's a project that was found by our record scouts. And then we get an arrangement with them to go in and digitize it. And then the Bowers or somebody like the Bowers go in and actually do the camera work to get those records digitized. And then the process continues on with FamilySearch to where it will show up on their website and everyone can search it depending on whether it's just the records themselves or whether they actually get indexed. Okay. It's a long process, and we're the starting point, you might say.
Okay. So you guys both work for FamilySearch? Or
work for free, volunteers.
Okay. That's awesome.
So yeah. Granbury's in which county?
We're in Hood County.
Hood County. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know because I always used to think of Granbury being so small, but it's a lot larger now. Do you know the county clerk there by any chance?
I don't know her personally. I mean, I know who she is, but I ended up, primarily the repository at Tarleton did not have any Hood County records in it. It wasn't one of our assigned counties. So, I got a little more familiar with Erath County and some of the other counties that we actually dealt with there. So I don't know the person. That doesn't mean I couldn't meet them at some point, but
yeah, we're just always looking for mutual contacts because we have a scout that actually is assigned to Hood County and Comanche County, all of them. And so they'll be going in, and it's always nice to be able to say, I met Amanda and she's here in Hood County. If you know that, it's nice to name drop.
Sure. I can understand that. And I can probably help more in terms of being a connection to other connections, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Absolutely. That's awesome. And we appreciate it.
Just to give you kind of a story, we were building a relationship down in Bastrop County and everything was fine. But then we had an opportunity for her to call up the clerk in Grimes County where the Bowers had worked. And that, once they talked to them and said, oh yeah, this is great, then it was all, easy going. And so, yeah, it's always building those relationships, which is where we are always looking for people who know people in the community who are interested in helping preserve the records so they can help us make those introductions and let our services be made available to them.
And we just had Carol Dunbar come into the room. Carol, how are you this morning? You're on mute.
I'm doing very well, thanks. I'm in St. Louis.
St. Louis, oh my goodness. Was there something we can do for you here? We're talking about record scouting.
Well, I came to this not having a clue what I was signing into. So I got to the main page, I guess, and they were putting people in breakout rooms, and I thought, oh, my goodness, this is interesting. And I
Yeah.
haven't to discover really what any of those rooms are. So, I'm interested in records. I can hang with you here.
Well, we're just talking about what it is that we do, and what we do is go out and find the records to be able to digitize that end up being in FamilySearch, so that when you're looking for information on an ancestor or anyone, that's where the information comes from, is what we go out and do.
So you're looking to have us help you find records that might be useful?
Some people are interested in doing that. Some people are just interested in where does the information come from that I find on FamilySearch, but we are always glad to have every bit of help we can trying to get into the Texas county clerks and district clerks and other historical societies that have records that we can then digitize and end up on FamilySearch.
Okay, so I keep hearing and seeing Texas. Is that what
Yes.
the whole entire thing is all about? Is it all about Texas, or is
That's
there
what this particular one is. Yeah, there are a whole lot of different ones on the Roots Tech site that have to do with all over the world, but this particular one is Texas.
Okay, well, I might go scouting around and find something else. I don't really
Okay.
have anything going on in Texas.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
okay. Thanks for dropping in anyway.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll keep searching around on Roots Tech.
Good
Thanks.
deal.
Okay. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay.
Carolyn, what about you? Carolyn Sargent, you also are all on mute.
This is Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hey, I was just moving around and seeing what's on while I'm waiting for the other session to start.
Okay.
And so I'm just punching around, seeing if I could even figure out how to get in rooms and stuff. So I'm just listening.
Well, you did good.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we do our FamilySearch all the time. So I was just interested in the records and stuff. So I'll just listen till I'm ready for something else.
That
Just so you
sounds
know, I'm
great.
just working a little issue on another break room, so it's all with you, Stephanie.
It's all with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carolyn, what we do is we're kind of the front lines for FamilySearch. We
Right.
have people who go, and we're all volunteers who
Yes,
go out.
I'm very familiar with all what you do and everything.
Oh,
We've been history consultants for a while, and we're
Have
trying to
you?
get back into it after we were changed to other responsibilities. So
well, are you still in Texas?
no, I am actually in Utah.
In Utah? Okay. Well, I
Yes,
was
just
gonna-
Layton. So I'm close to the center.
Wow. Well, I was going to try to recruit you.
Sorry. Well, when I first came on, this guy introduced himself as Michael Walker. So I had to get on to see if it was my cousin, but it wasn't.
Oh.
Because he lives in Texas. So
Oh,
anyway,
how do you
I'm
like
just
that?
chatting around, nothing particular right now.
okay.
Just because I'm trying to get my hair done and stuff like that. So I was just listening in.
Well,
Thanks.
good
I'll let you
deal.
get to somebody who's looking for something more important.
Well, it's good to talk to you.
Thank you. You too.
Stephanie, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Have you guys thought at all about contacting the Catholic diocese and seeing if you guys can digitize? Some of them I know are already on there because I have found a lot of my family, but I'm thinking in particular the Diocese of Austin.
I know that Carrie Ann and my wife is Carrie Ann, who's kind of running this thing. And I know that they meet pretty regularly with the Catholic diocese down in Houston, but I don't know beyond that what they're doing with them. That's a great point.
Yeah. So
Because-
Austin has a lot of information.
Well, it may be for the entire state. There's kind of it might be a state archive, Catholic archive there in Austin. And I just know it just came to mind because recently I was trying to find some baptismal records for a church in Bremen, Texas, that a relative was actually a priest there ages ago, and they're not available anywhere online. So, and I know you
Oh.
guys have done some of the ones from Houston. You did them years ago, actually, and I would just personally love to see more because they're such a great resource.
That is
for
awesome.
birth for the vital statistics, birth, marriage,
Sure.
death,
Right.
particularly in an era when there weren't any civil records available, since
Absolutely.
Texas didn't start recording births and deaths till 1903, and even then it's been pretty spotty for those early years.
Sure.
Church records can be a lot more
Do you have a
reliable.
contact there?
Now that one I may be able to get you some context on that right off the bat. I can't name a name, but
Okay.
now you guys said you've already talked to the Houston
know-
Galveston.
I know my wife goes down and has met with them, but I don't know what the context of what she was meeting with them about. And they work down there with at the Clayton Library a lot. And I know that they're kind of interrelated in some way, but that's
Okay.
another place where it's trying to get started with some camera capture, and they've just been closed, and it's been
Yeah.
really difficult.
That's true everywhere. I see your message here, Stephanie, and I was actually going to ask you the same thing, so I'll share it here in just a second. But
Okay.
on the Catholic end, I may have some context here, thanks to having an aunt who's a nun.
There you go.
So let me go ahead and put that in here.
Yeah, I am doing that as well.
You guys sharing?
Yeah, oh my gosh, happily surprised to see that you can direct message on chat. If you go to the person's
Yeah, you can.
blog where they are,
so
in
you
upper
can,
right corner, the 3 dots, there's a chat. And so that's direct rather than everybody in the world seeing it.
Yeah, you can add. I think you can make it to several people. Let's see.
Okay, Amanda, I am writing that down.
Same here.
You're just sharing details.
Yeah. That way we can get a hold of her later when she has a chance to remember.
Yeah, pull up the names. It's not the kinds of thing that I can
Sure.
give you off the top of my head. And same thing as before. It's more like they wouldn't know me, but if I can tell you, you can say, I got your name through a relative, Sister Jean Marie Gokus, that I can tell you that will definitely ring some bells for some people.
Awesome. That is awesome. So Gresham is your maiden name or your married name?
Married name.
Married name? Because my husband has Gresham from his, I think, grandmother all the way back to 1300s or something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do it. He lucked into finding someone who did. So there's a bunch of information on the Greshams. Yeah, Catholic diocese, that is a really good connection there.
Mm.
So James, Carrie Ann, and Cindy are working with the Catholic Diocese of
I just
Houston?
know they've gone down and met with them, but I honestly don't know without asking her what the context of what they were meeting with them about. But it always seems to be they go down and see them, and then they go down and meet with the people at the Clayton Library.
Ah,
And the lady at the Clayton Library, she's fabulous, but very, very busy because they've
Oh,
got,
are you talking about Sue Kaufman?
yeah, Sue Kaufman. Yes.
Yeah.
Sue's
Yeah, I know.
fabulous, but I don't know what,
I don't know where she finds any time to do anything, honestly.
well, once you can get her connected, she's very good, but it's getting her to connect with you is what's really hard because she's got so much going on.
Yeah, she does, but she's awesome.
But they've got a bunch of funeral home records that we're trying to digitize. And they've got lots of books that in fact, I think we've got a book scanner sitting in their library. doing nothing right now, but I think it's sitting there waiting.
I remember the last time that the Texas Library Association, or maybe it was the Texas State Genealogical Society, when they had a meeting in Houston, we had a little tour there and we saw the room where they have the big camera set up and there were people there working on it,
Mhm.
you know, churning out a lot of the books and documents that they have there in that collection.
Yeah, unfortunately, our missionaries who run a lot of those things, you know, were sent home because there's nothing to
Sure.
do,
Yeah.
and so it's a bit of a rebuilding process right now for the efforts that me and Stephanie are doing, because there was some efforts going on and then it all got shut down, and so we're kind of trying to rebuild the team and rebuild the flow of information, which is why it's great to find the Amandas of the world that can help us.
Absolutely. Yeah, in fact, you're naming the Texas Library Association. That I would never have thought of, but I would imagine is that all the librarians in?
Well, I mean,
Texas?
it's a membership organization. You know, all librarians that live or work in the state are eligible to join it. In fact, I think people can join it that aren't in the state as well. You know, you do have to pay a membership fee, which does keep a lot of folks out of it. But yeah, that would be another good contact point too. And there is within the organization, there are what they call roundtables, which are kind of like interest groups. And there's an genealogy archives and records roundtable. I can't remember the exact order that those that those come in, but and now granted, since I'm retired, I'm not currently involved in that. Sue
Sure.
is another person that could definitely tell you a little bit more about that as well. But that's where you'll sometimes hit a lot of the folks that manage some of this type of stuff. And that was interesting.
Awesome.
You mentioned the funeral home records. I know that I can't remember if it's our local library or the local genealogy group here has some funeral home records from one of the funeral homes here in Granbury. And I've forgotten that those can be an awesome source for information. They often save obituaries, you know, and that's a big plus. So I'll have to check and see about the ones that our local library has.
Awesome. I'm making notes as you're talking. A lot of information. Sheesh.
Well, I
So-
tell you what, you know, FamilySearch is just awesome because, you know, you guys are free, which is a big plus right there. And, you know, I worked back on the 1940 indexing project, and, you know, there's so many opportunities to get involved in that regards too, but it's exciting that you're going out and looking for even more things to get digitized, because even if you guys get the stuff digitized, a good librarian like myself can help people find stuff in there, you know, in there all the time. So
Oh, man.
What's the 1940 indexing project?
that was the 1940 census back, gosh, it's been almost 9 years ago. You guys put up the
Okay, so you helped doing the indexing.
yeah, I helped with the
Okay.
indexing on
Oh,
that. And
fabulous.
I still hop in every now and then and do some
Uh-huh.
indexing of projects. I'm still on the list there, but yeah, it was back when the 1940 census came out. My mom was still alive, and she's the one that got me into genealogy in the first place. And she was very, very eager to find herself on the 1940 census. So I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to help work on indexing these suckers. And, you know, I learned the tricks on how to use Steve Morrison stuff so that you could actually find people you were looking for before it got indexed. And, you know, I was able to do that as well. But
Wow.
yeah, I'm looking forward to when 1950 comes out. That'll be great.
One of the amazing things they're doing right now is they're looking back and lifting the African American out of the 1880 and 1890 and let's see, and 1900 censuses, and then in Montgomery and Washington County, they're doing it as a pilot project. They got these guys who just manage mass data,
Mhm.
and so they can go in and search those records that have been indexed, and then lift those out and then start building the trees for those families.
Oh, that's great.
Starting point, so that when someone goes into FamilySearch and they say, here I am, there's a start. There's a root planted and they can work from that. So it's pretty cool. These guys that manage data are just fascinate me. It's like, how do they do it? I have no idea.
Well, yeah, I know there's one session at Roots Tech that I put in my playlist to watch at some point here, and it's the one about oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, but it was interesting to me because my son actually does this stuff. Now I'm going to have to go look at it, find out the name of it here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one I think that talked about using machine learning. Yeah, deep learning. I'm sorry. My son is actually kind of a specialist in that stuff. So I thought, oh, I need to watch this one. So I can have
the indexing is starting to go. They're starting to try to get, the optical readers that can do the indexing itself. And they did a project. I can't remember which. There are records in Texas. I can't remember where. But then you would go and index them and then compare, and it would help the machine learn it from its mistakes, because you then, so the machine indexed it, then you go back and index it, and you can then compare, the errors and implement that stuff. And I kind of heard that the machine didn't do so well the first time.
Well, that's understandable, particularly if it's working with handwritten records.
Yes,
It's
handwritten old,
gosh.
handwritten records.
Yeah.
But when I indexed quite a bit for a while, and was mainly doing English records, and you understood how they were working. You could get very comfortable with those sets of records as you worked with them, and how they managed them and how they put them together, and so you could find those tricks of how you'd help get the indexing done. So it's fun.
It is. It is.
I love your
So
map.
is that what
What's the map?
is that what your son does?
Well, I honestly, I don't know exactly what he does, because he's way smarter than I am and has a master's degree in applied financial mathematics or something like that. And
Wow.
he's been working as a consultant. And I just know that on his resume, so to speak, he talks about deep learning and machine learning and all this kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, maybe I can watch something here and learn something about this, so we can have an intelligent conversation the next time I talk to him.
Right. That is fascinating.
We'll see.
Yeah. My son is an attorney. James is also an attorney. They just speak totally different languages. So if there was something I could look at that would help me communicate, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you guys based in Texas, or do you
Am I
live
frozen? I think I'm frozen.
I currently live in the Woodlands.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
I grew up in Houston, so
right now I'm up in Utah watching the snowfall, so it's kind of fun.
so you went up to Salt Lake to be there.
No, as I mentioned, I recently retired, and I'm taking a month up here to just do some skiing and enjoy and work on a project here that I'm working on. And it happens to be during Roots Tech. So usually this is the week when my wife is up here for Roots Tech and I'm back in Texas working, but now the tables have turned.
Yeah.
With virtual Roots Tech.
And where are you, Stephanie?
Right now I'm in, do you know where Star, Texas is?
I've heard of it, but I cannot place it on the map right off the bat.
Most people don't know where it is. And I've actually had a few people who do, is why I always ask. We've got a place that's in North Central Texas, kind of between Waco and Brownwood.
Okay.
Almost smack dab in the middle off of 84.
Okay.
So I'm really familiar with Granbury and Stephenville and all the places not too far from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up here. I actually grew up in Houston. And I've lived in Corpus Christi. I've lived in San Antonio. I've got family in Austin. My parents retired and lived in Fredericksburg for 20 years. Actually only been up here in Granbury for the last 15 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
15, almost 15. Yeah.
I was born and raised in Corpus.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
there.
Oh gosh. Let's see, 1979 through 1984. So only 5 years, but the best years of my life because that's where I met my
Really?
husband. So
Oh, there you go.
he was
My
there for
goodness.
a little bit longer than me. He moved there earlier than I did. And he actually spent some of his youth there as well.
Oh,
What
yeah.
part of Corpus did you live in?
They called it at that point the South Side. I'm not
Okay.
sure what they call it anymore because it's a lot bigger. But I went to Carroll High School.
Okay, yeah, I know where that is.
Were you there with family?
No, this was my basically first job out of college. I
Oh.
worked for the city of Corpus Christi and for those 5 years. And I have a long, complicated story, but it was it was a great time, and I really loved living there. And I lived over off of Airline and Williams, if you know
Yeah.
where that is. Yeah,
Yep.
apartment complex that's still there all
Yeah.
these years later.
How do you like that?
Yeah, small world.
It is a small world. Absolutely. I even lived in Houston once. That's where my son was born. I think we may be somewhat gypsies in Texas.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my mom is a native Houstonian, and
aren't
my
many of those.
father, for me,
There aren't many of those.
no, there's not. She was born there in 1928. Her father was the son of Lithuanian immigrants that actually moved to Houston. I've traced them back to Houston. I know they were definitely there in 1894, I believe, somewhere in the 1890s. I can't remember the exact year. And she met my dad when he was stationed at Ellington Air Force Base. He actually grew up in the Chicago area. Dad and I were both born in Evanston because their first job after he got married was back up in Evanston, but mom just couldn't take the cold. And dad liked it during the time he was stationed at Ellington. So they came back to Houston, and all my siblings were born there. And that's where I grew up.
Fabulous. So where in Houston then?
Started out in the Spring Branch area, but mostly in Sharpstown. Good old Sharpstown. Everybody knows where Sharpstown is.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I don't want to keep you guys, forever here
Oh,
necessarily
we're enjoying
either.
talking to
So I wasn't quite sure how this whole breakout thing was supposed to work, or even how the whole session was
Well,
supposed to work.
and to be honest, it's new to us too.
Yeah.
It's a first time try, and I think it sounds like it's worked really well so far. I'll get the feedback from the people who are watching over the whole thing, but yeah, if you want to go wander around to some of the other breakout rooms, and
I might do that just to see what's other kind of projects and stuff are going on. But I'm glad we've
Yeah.
exchanged stuff here, and I'll see if I can come up with some names and contact people for you
fabulous.
for various stuff. So,
We
That'd be
would
great.
really appreciate it.
all righty, great.
It was good to talk to you, Manta.
Good to meet you guys. Y'all take care.
all right,
You
take care.
too.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye. Carolyn, it's just us.
Carolyn's on mute.
I know.
Well, I can't.
Sorry, go ahead and do whatever you do. It's just playing while I'm doing some things.
Oh, well, we're just, you're.
I just tuned in before you went to breakout, so I didn't know exactly what was happening. So I'm just listening in.
Okay. Well, we're just here to answer people's questions about our efforts on finding records in Texas, and so.
And I have a question on finding some records in Utah.
Okay. Well, what can we maybe help you with?
Well, ago, my brother-in-law contacted the church about digitizing records that his mother had done. She was quite a genealogist, and she has filing cabinets full of pictures of cemeteries back east and all kinds of things. And when he approached them, they told him that they could not do anything with them. But because she took pictures of all these cemeteries that are now kind of getting buried and lost and everything, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Every time I think about them, I think these are records that would be great, but they've just returned from a mission from Australia, so he hasn't had a chance to do anything with them. But are they open to looking at that kind of stuff anymore?
What they do, and I'm not speaking with any authority here, so take this for what it is.
Okay.
They look at, are they genealogically significant is kind of the term I hear them use. And
Uh-huh.
then there's a volume content, that needs to be understood. But I get
And
the
someone
feeling-
would have to go in and really look at them to determine that, I think.
right. And that's the thing. But I also understand that definition is broadening out. It used to be very, a little bit in a box, but I've heard that recently they're starting to be a little more flexible in what it is. But the other thing you can do, of course, is you can load them onto FamilySearch. You can,
That would be a major 10-year project.
it would probably,
And
but
that's, I think that's why it wasn't something he could attack at the time, but
uh-huh.
he retired and went on a mission, so maybe now he will. I'll have to talk to him about it.
So is it a significant amount of information?
From what I understand, it is several file cabinets full.
Let's see, who's got,
You know what,
I don't know if I can
Carolyn,
get
I'm
out of,
I'm gonna do it.
who's got Utah? Is it Steve or is it the other?
It's Steve.
Is it Steve?
Yeah, and the moons could probably help. I know they're, like you said, there, and that's part of what we're wanting to do here as well, is start making lists of things that FamilySearch initially did not want, but may want in the future. So they may be doing the same thing there. Carolyn, I'm going to get your email address so that
Okay.
we can find out if there is anyone who might be able to help you in Utah. We can find out and let you know.
Okay, and I'll talk to him now that he's home from his mission and getting his feet on the ground again.
Sure.
What he'd be interested in, and maybe just send you directly to him.
Okay.
But can you see my email there on your screen, or do I need to verbally give it to you?
No, if you'll go, you see where your name is there, Carolyn Sargent on the right. If you'll go, to the-
Actually, no, I don't see it.
you don't see that. Okay.
No. How about share content? Oh, no, that's content. I don't care if I give it to you verbally.
If you go to
Okay,
you can-
great.
yeah.
What is it?
It is the consonants in my name. So it's CRLNSRGNT@gmail.com.
That's a new way of doing it.
Yeah, when we were new to it, that was easy.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll try to find out, get you an answer, and also if there's anything to do with it, I can let you know that as well.
Okay, and tell me your name again so I recognize who it's coming from.
It's Stephanie Sparkman.
Say the last name again.
Sparkman, like a spark and a man.
Yes. Okay, my thing was freezing a little bit, and so missed some of the syllable. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna be going on to something else now, so I'm done.
Enjoy.
So
Have fun.
thanks, it's been fun just listening in.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
James, we're recording this. I didn't remember
Yeah,
in the beginning, so.
I started the record not too long after we got started, so
Oh, good. Oh, I didn't know it had let both of us do it.
I guess we got more permission than we should have had. Well, the reason I
What the
had
heck?
the reason I signed away was the the Krobes couldn't get their recording to start, but the Bowers are recording it, so that's good.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of people here.
Yeah. I was trying, well, shoot, I can't see now how many there are. Can you see how many?
No, but there's well over 100. I've seen hundreds in the waiting room as their things have been going by. So
Gosh, that's crazy.
they're all out looking at the more entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some really good stuff.
But talking to Amanda was very, very helpful.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I think that she'll be
And then we
a
need to get
very good contact.
and then we need to get with this Anna Kramer on this digital newspaper project, because Perry keeps, and Chris Richens and these guys, when they get in these historical sites, one thing they all have is newspapers. And Steve has no interest in newspapers.
Well, no, I don't think it's him. I think it's FamilySearch.
Well, I use that one and the same,
Oh, yeah.
but and granted, I mean, newspapers don't have much information in them except for maybe the obituaries, but they've all got the newspapers, and they all want them digitized, and there's a project which, Texas Digital. Oh, you weren't in the main room, were you?
I was for a little bit.
Oh, good.
I wrote down, was that,
She runs the Texas Digital Newspaper Program. And her name's Anna Kramer.
Anna Kramer? Okay.
And Carrie Ann's got it.
I
And
think
Carrie Ann and Cindy have their details, so I'm not too fussed about getting to that. But that's the one that in the sense of where our guys keep coming back saying, yeah, they got all these newspapers, and it's like, well, we're not interested in newspapers.
Yeah.
But this lady is.
Yeah.
She said on her presentation they have the largest digital newspaper website in the country, I think she said.
I think she did. Yeah, I think I did hear that one. And she also said that it's free.
Right.
Because on Ancestry, you have to buy a subscription to be able to get any newspaper. But there's a lot that can be learned in newspaper articles.
Yep. So I don't know if we have to stay here or.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to, I'm afraid to go get out of the break room because I'm afraid I can't get back in. So if you want to go look around at some of the other stuff, I can sit here in case anybody else comes in.
And then Raquel sounds like a good contact at the Carnegie Library because she's now fully invested.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I want to now up in Perry's been all hot to go see Brazos County, and I've been trying to say calm, and see if some of these people can help us, if the Bowers can help us, or Raquel can help us, or someone, versus just. And tell me what you think. The big cities, I shouldn't say it this way, but they scare me.
Because they'll have so much.
Well, they'll have so much, but also I get the feeling we'll run into the same thing we ran into up in Collins, where it's all done. It's all, and we just need to get a different game plan for what we're going to do with those, versus I think the little counties, we can help them a lot more. They're much more receptive to what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I know Tarrant County, there was the county clerk for Tarrant County, was very interested when she talked to the Hernicheks, but she's not there any longer. So at least that's kind of an icebreaker to be able to say, hey, the lady before you really was interested. So if she was interested, I would think that they don't have everything already.
Right. No, and so maybe I'm being too conservative. But I'd love to have someone who can introduce us in those big counties. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And so, anyhow, it is what it is. I think we're probably good. So,
is there a way to shut it down.
Yes.
I mean, I know we can leave, but
Yes, the lady in charge.
yeah, there you go.
We'll see how overwhelmed she is.
I bet she's way overwhelmed. Gee.
It's supposed to, it says it's gonna snow all day, but it's kind of, I mean, the sun's out right now. But it's snowing and the sun's out,
Wow.
which is always my favorite thing. When it's snowing and the sun's out, it's always kind of cool.
Wow. I don't think I've ever even seen it. Not that I've seen that much snow. It's supposed to be raining here all weekend. We haven't seen rain yet and we need it.
You're up at the ranch?
Yeah. We need that rain. If you don't hear from her, like I said, I'm fine with sitting here in case somebody does come through. I'm afraid if I leave this room, I won't be able to get back in.
She says we can close down.
Oh, okay.
So have a nice day.
You too. Have a nice week.
Yeah, it should be kind of fun. Then I'll be back in Houston next Tuesday. And I got a notice which says I can go get a COVID shot on Thursday. So
Oh, how do you like that?
yeah, still trying to figure it out because I'm not old enough, and it's kind of like it's this or it's you have medical condition. I don't know the medical condition, but I talked to my doctor and said she says if you got a notice, you're on the list. It's like, okay,
Wow.
I'm not gonna fight it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get one for a while. I like that one time when I have weird reaction to stuff.
Mm.
And my doctor said, yeah, you may want to wait a while before you get one.
Yeah.
But that's okay because that's what keeps me at the ranch for longer than normal. Staying away from people.
So how can we get you out of Midland? Are you guys gonna retire and wrap it up, or what's your plan?
We've had this place now for 8 years, and the plan was to start with a semi-retirement. So be here half time, and they're kind of like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But Scott still hasn't gotten to that point yet. So we may be getting close to where I'm living here and he comes to see me on the weekends. Lots better than Midland. I love it here.
Oh, that's fabulous.
It's always something to look forward to.
Well, when I get back, we'll plan to come out and see you.
Yes, absolutely. That would be great.
Good
In the
stuff.
meantime, go ski or something.
Yep. I've just about wrapped up my project, and so that's kind of cool. Just kind of looking at where all the touch up needs to be done. It's amazing.
Well, you keep talking about painting and I'm like, we have this farmhouse that really, I have to redo the whole thing, repaint and stuff. I'm like, maybe I can talk to James and Carrie Ann and they can come stay here for a week or so and we can paint that farmhouse.
There you go.
No, I wouldn't put you to work, I promise.
Ah, that would be fun though. Not the painting's fun, but it's fun. It's fun to go, when you're not doing it all day, and it's like, putz around at it, and you go do some other things, and it's always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 on this breakout room. So there's only 8 breakout rooms right now.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm out of here.
All right. Well, take care.
Have a great rest of the day.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, and were you able to record okay?
I think so. I'm not sure. It may not be a great recording, and I'm not sure that they really are wondering if I should be putting all this out yet. But I think it's just too good a platform and too important an amount of data. We need to let people know. But that just means I have to get my magazine article to show this stuff done quickly
Right, right,
before somebody else gets there first.
right. Well, and I'll work with you on getting a copy of that recording. If you can send it to, you
Well, I
share it
hit the
on
record,
OneDrive.
but when I left it, I don't know where it goes.
It's on your computer somewhere,
Ooh, I hope. Okay.
and it should be a file called Zoom. And that's where, at least on mine, that's where mine go when I search on my computer. If anyone needs
Okay.
to be pushed somewhere, just enter